Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Friday. Happy Friday, August 4th, 2025. Getting closer to training camp. Hopefully you're all safe and healthy. Hope your family's safe and healthy, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with first responders who every day doing their best to save lives. Those also that pick up garbage, keep our places clean, and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children, victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People that are also victims of prostitution and child prostitution, pornography and child pornography, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on all the perpetrators, double curses on all the profiteers, and double curses on all the perverts that make these industries go. Finally, double blessings on the homeless. More than 700,000 men, women, children, families, senior citizens, and military veterans homeless in the United States of America. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. So now, officially, we can end all the stupid speculation, which Knicks Nation loves to get into, about Mikal Bridges. He is signed, sealed, and delivered. So the Knicks have now Wingstop in effect and locked up for at least the next 3 seasons, as we've been saying, because that's the championship window. So now you have Mikal Bridges at 4 years, $150 million. You got OG Anunoby at 5 years, $215 million. So you got both of these guys locked up through their primes, which is very important because in the NBA, to win a championship, you need several elements. Number one, we talk about defense. Defense wins championships. But within that defense, you need to have wings. All teams need wings. They're very important to championship teams. And why? Wing players, in my view, are described as players that can handle the ball, could play high-level defense against multiple positions, and can score, especially in big moments. Okay? So all championship teams have high-level wings. They're not always the starter team. For example, the Denver Nuggets. The star is the Joker. But the wings, at the time they won their chip, the rookie was Brown. They had Gordon, Michael Porter Jr. They had, those wings were the supporting people that made huge plays in playoff games for them to win the chip. Everybody knows the Joker is the man, but without those wings, and then of course they had Bruce Brown that year, another wing coming off the bench, and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and we could go on. Same thing with the Milwaukee Bucks, same thing with the Boston Celtics, same thing with every NBA champion. You need to have a wing stop. And the deeper you are, the better. To me, the best depth is to have 4 of them that you can call on to do those things. They can handle the ball. They can guard multiple positions. They can score in big moments. You need 4 of those type of guys, okay? So for the Knicks, Brunson's not a wing, but he's the head of the snake. We'll talk about that another time. Cat is not a wing, but he's a 5 that cannot be stopped. But you do have OG, Mikal Bridges. You do have coming Josh Hart. You do have Deuce that can play both the 1 and the 2. You do have multiple players that can do these things, which are all absolutely necessary for the Knicks to win this chip. So now you have locked up your starter at the wing in Mikal Bridges. You have that continuity. Continuity is another important element in a championship team, which again, because of the clickbait, people don't get. But no, you need to have continuity. Now, what Mikal Bridges did in signing the 4-year, $150 million deal, and there was never any doubt on this channel that Mikal Bridges was coming back. And many people were, buying into the garbage. And as much as I can't stand it, some of y'all can't help yourselves. So I understand. You have this disease, which you must play the sucker for the clickbait. Okay, fine. But we never doubted that Mikal Bridges was coming back and that he was going to sign the deal. But what he did is he signed a bit of a discount. I mean, $6 million he left on the table, which he didn't have to, just like Jalen Brunson, so that the Knicks are, in the first year of this deal, they're almost $16 million under the second apron and $3 million under the first apron. Now, that's just a snapshot for now. As I mentioned, tomorrow night we're going to have a special for members only live. And we're going to talk about a big move that's going to come next spring after the season. And the Knicks may or may not be involved with it depending on how they finish this season. But we're going to talk about that. And that's why I say you're looking at a snapshot, because for this year, right now, the Knicks paying Karl-Anthony Towns 53, Anunoby almost 40, Jalen Brunson 35, Mikal Bridges 25, Josh 19, Mitch Rob 13, and then of course you got Yabusele at about 5.5 and Deuce at 4. That's your team. Now, next year though, in this year's team, we still got to add a vet min contract, and apparently from what Ian Begley's reported, there are 2 players the Knicks are considering at this time, Ben Simmons being one, God no, and then Landry Shamet, definitely, yes, hopefully. So those are the 2 players they're considering with this vet minimum contract that they have available. The rookie deal, I'm pretty sold that it's going to be Diawara, because he is the only legit rookie that the Knicks drafted, and that deal is for the legit rookie that was drafted this year. So that's, I feel like, a lock right there. So you're going to get Diawara on the roster as the rookie this year. But next year, there are decisions that's going to have to be made. So you still got Mitch Rob out here that is an unrestricted free agent. As this channel is Mitch Hive, am hoping they re-sign him. I'm looking at his value as pretty much the same as it was in his first contract. Okay, I'm looking at something like 4 years, $48 million, 4 years, $60 million for Mitchell Robinson, in the same structure where it starts off a little higher and ends up lower like he's doing right now. But I'm looking at the same, just giving that same deal, and let's move on with life. But that remains to be seen. We have to deal with that, though. They're going to have to deal with Pacome Dadier, the $3 million that he's going to be owed if they pick up the contract next year. That's that. There's Tyler Kolek, 2.3, if they decide to keep him. These are back of the roster type players, but every dollar counts in this era of aprons. Okay, every dollar counts. You got Deuce McBride, who's $4 million this year and about $4 million next year, and it's a complete travesty and discount that he's getting so little money for what he brings to the table. I don't know if that's going to continue. I think they're going to give him something, but we'll have to see what it is. A bench piece like him, he's worth at least the MLE, the full MLE, which is around 12. But we'll see how they do that. But bench pieces are not getting no $20 million a year. So he's going to get somewhere 8 to 12, I think. And that's a fair number for him. But they got decisions to make. Then you got Josh Hart, $21 million that year. He's got 19. He's a bargain for what he brings to the table. But 21, that's about the right number for him. But they got a decision to make. So next year, there's going to be serious decisions that got to be made. What's not going to change is OG, Mikal Bridges, and Brunson. They're untouchable. So forget any trade talk with regard to these 3 is stupid. Don't even listen to it. OG, Mikal Bridges, and Brunson are not being traded. They're off the table. Anybody else is on the table. Okay? So you have to, that's where you should start. Any clickbait that comes on talking about an OG, Mikal Bridges, or Brunson trade, you can write that off as clickbait, and you should really take note of who gives that, who's throwing that diary out there. And don't ever trust what they say again, because they're giving you crap. People lied to you, you shouldn't trust. So anybody else is on the table. Now, a lot of y'all were hyped because Karl-Anthony Towns is working out. Let me just say something to you. A guy getting more than $50 million a year, he should be working out. I'm not surprised that he's looking buff. I just glad that he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. What he really needs to do, though, is get his head ready for some damn defense this year. That's what we're talking about. All that buff stuff, okay, that's good. That's like, you seeing Ben Simmons shooting threes in Summer League and afraid to take a layup in a regular game. Or Mitchell Robinson shooting threes in Summer League and can't get out he ain't shooting no damn threes during the season. So that's what we're talking about. So, yeah, I'm glad he's getting buff. Okay, that's great. Can they make him play some better defense? Because Karl-Anthony Towns can be 50 pounds overweight and still scoring anybody. So we're not worried about that. Can he play some defense, though? Can he play some defense? That's what we want to know. Is he able to play some defense? Okay, so we're waiting to see that. All that buff and the summer stuff, great. Play some damn defense. That's what we're looking for, especially in the pick and roll. So let's see how that works out. That's what we're trying to get right now. So that's what we gotta have. But OG and Mikal Bridges locked in. Wingstop done. That's done. You got Josh Hart, you got OG, you got Mikal, you got Deuce, and then you got coming up the rear, Daddy A coming up the rear, Diawara coming up the rear, Bocamp. You got wings. And that's what I'm saying, big decisions for next year. Because next year's decision, see, they got the present covered. The present championship window is covered. You're now looking next year at the future, which is the players I just named. You got to decide what you're going to do in the future for those guys. You got to decide what you're going to do. So that's where next year's decisions are going to come in. That's what we're talking about, the future. For now, the main pieces of this championship team, the 10 pieces they need, set. No need to be discussing it, okay? But they got to decide, is Tyler Kolek part of their future? Is Bacome Daddier part of their future? Zario Hukporti part of their future? Beauchamp, Diawara, are they part of the future? Okay, that's what they got to decide. Anton Watson, is he part of the future? You got to decide. Kevin McCullough, is he part of the future? You got to decide. These are decisions that are going to have to be made. That's why this summer was extremely important to these youngins, because their future is going to be decided based on how they perform and how they develop. Okay, it's put up or shut up. I don't want to hear you could play with better players. I don't want to hear that. Put up or shut up. It's time. And that's what the decisions that got to be made are coming. They got to decide about the future. That's next summer. For now, though, and they may make few decisions now on some of these guys. As I mentioned, I wouldn't be surprised if they traded Tyler Kolek, because that's a spot. That's a roster spot that can go to some of these youngins that they're going to keep in the future. So we're going to see how that works out. But for now, Wingstop is set. There was never any doubt. Wingstop is set. OG and Mikal are there. And that's a huge relief, because you got the wings that you need to win this chip. Okay, right now you got the wings you need. Not only are they good, not only are they, last year OG was dependable. Let's keep that up. We know McCall's dependable. Josh Hart's dependable. Deuce McBride's dependable. We know this. So we got what we need to keep going. And now we got another roughneck in Yabusele, which we need. So this is all good for what we're planning going forward. But yeah, so now at this point, there's one more vet min contract. We'll see who gets it. I'm hoping it's Shamit or DeLon Wright, whose name has not been mentioned in the media much. I'm hoping it's either DeLon Wright or Shamit that gets that last contract, because that's the last piece we need to solidify. And this, he'll be like the 11th guy, which is going to still be important for the Knicks, especially in the 82-game grind season, which we're trying to end up at the chip. So yeah, y'all enjoy your weekend, enjoy your Friday. If you're a member, we'll be sending you out something for tomorrow night, probably between 8:30, something like that. We'll talk about that. Be safe out there. Sure.